Hello friends, this video on System of Particles and Rotational Motion part 34 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now let us look at some of the problems related to rolling motion. So here comes problem 1. It says that a solid sphere rolls down along two different inclined planes of same heights but different angles of inclination. Will it reach the bottom with the same speed in each case? Will it take longer to roll down one plane than the other? If so, which one and why? Okay, so let us first try to understand the problem and then try to approach the first part. Now let us suppose that these are the two inclined planes. Somewhat like this. So you see that even though the height is the same, but this angle is different, right? Now let us assume that the mass of the sphere is m. So what would be the total potential energy at the top? At the top it will have, the total energy will be in the form of potential energy. The kinetic energy will be 0. But as the sphere rolls down and reaches the bottom, when it comes to the bottom, the total energy which it has is the kinetic energy and the potential energy is 0. So at the top, what is the total potential energy possessed by the sphere? That is mgh. Whereas at the bottom, the total kinetic energy that it has is half mv square plus half I omega square, because the sphere will actually roll along this inclined plane. So it will be a combination of translation as well as rotational motion. Right? Now, as per the law of conservation of energy. So, as per this law of conservation of energy, the energy at the top should be equal to the energy at the bottom. So, therefore, mgh should be equal to half mv square plus half I omega square. Right? Now, what is the moment of inertia for a solid sphere? We have already calculated in one of our previous slides that I is equal to 2 by 5 mr square for a solid sphere. So putting this value, we get mgh is equal to half mv square plus half, instead of I we will write it as 2 by 5 mr square into omega square. Right? So this m will get cancelled on both the sides. This 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So what do we get? So we get half v square plus 1 by 5 r square omega square is equal to gh. Now since we know that v is equal to r omega, so we can make use of that. So instead of omega we can write it as v by r. So we get half v square plus 1 by 5 v square is equal to gh. So from this we get velocity is equal to root over 10 by 7 gh. So what does this show? This shows that the velocity of the sphere at the bottom is same for both the cases, because the velocity of the sphere at the bottom depends on two factors, that is acceleration due to gravity and height of the inclined plane, and this is same for both the cases. So therefore the first part is solved. It says which will it reach the bottom with the same speed in each case. For these two different cases, since height is the same and g is a constant, therefore yes, it will reach with the same speed. Now let us look at the second part. It says, will it take longer to roll down one plane than the other? Now it is telling that the time taken to roll down from top to bottom. So will the time taken be same in both the cases, or the time taken will be different? So now let us concentrate on the second part. So the second part is mostly talking about the time taken, right? So let us consider the two spheres here. Let us say this is theta 1 and let us say this is theta 2, right? So the height remains the same in both the cases. Now when the sphere rolls here, let us consider the sphere to be at some point here. So what are the total forces that will be acting on the sphere? There will be a mg acting downwards, right? Since this angle is theta, so this angle will also be theta. So this becomes mg cos theta. This becomes mg sin theta, right? there would be a reaction force in this direction, that is R1. So these are the different forces that will act on this sphere. So what would be the acceleration of the sphere as it rolls down? So you can see that the only force acting along this direction is this. So mg sine theta is the force acting along this direction of movement of the sphere. So what is the acceleration of the sphere? G sine theta. So let us call this as theta 1. So everything will be theta 1. So this will be A is equal to G sine theta 1. Similarly, in this case, what would be the acceleration? Here acceleration will be equal to G sine theta 2. Right? So we see that in both these scenarios, the acceleration of the sphere will be different. Now from our kinematical equations, we know that V is equal to U plus AT. So from this we know that T is equal to V minus U by A. So from this we can say that time taken is inversely proportional to acceleration if the final velocity and initial velocity remains the same. So time taken is inversely proportional to the acceleration, right? Now here we see that in these two figures, what have we drawn is theta 2 is greater than theta 1. That is what we have considered here. So if theta 2 is greater than theta 1, sine theta 2 will be greater than sine theta 1. Now if sine theta 2 is greater than sine theta 1, that means g sine theta 2 will be greater than g sine theta 1. That means a2 will be greater than a1. Now since time taken is inversely proportional to a, that would mean time taken, that is t2, will be less than t1. So this implies that the time taken in the first scenario will be greater than the time taken in the second scenario. So this solves the second part. So let us look at the second problem. It says that a hoop of radius 2 meters weighs 100 kg. So the radius of the hoop is 2 meters and the weight is, that is the mass is 100 kgs. It rolls along a horizontal floor so that its center of mass has a speed of 20 centimeters per second. So the velocity of center of mass is 20 centimeters per second, which is equal to 0.2 meter per second. How much work has to be done to stop it? So that means if this is a horizontal floor and if this is moving in this way, that is, it is actually a combination of rotation and translation. So how much work has to be done so that you can stop it? Right? So work that needs to be done to stop it is nothing but the total energy of the loop, because the loop is moving because of the energy contained in it. So if the work which we are doing is equal to that energy, then it will stop. Right? Now what is the total energy of this loop? It is nothing but the total kinetic energy due to translation plus the total rotational kinetic energy, that is half I omega square. So this is equal to half into m into VCM square plus half into I. What is I in this case? I is nothing but mr square. So that will be m into r square, that is 2 into 2 into omega square. So what is omega square? Now we know that V is equal to R omega. So omega can be written as V square by R square. So this becomes equal to V square by R square. So this will get cancelled. So this comes out to be 4 joules. So this is the amount of work that needs to be done in order to stop the loop.
Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.